Up, and so are the Dallas Mavericks on the court since the Luka trade, taking on the Warriors. They bring in Jimmy Butler, and the fans in Dallas, they'll never sell you short of opinion. Sometimes you got to support the guys that are still there. One of them, Kyrie Irving. He had a night. Klay Thompson found him for 12. Then Kyrie again. Mavericks up 83-78 after 3 quarters. Let's pick it up fourth quarter now. Warriors down 99-92. Steph, he won't miss from there. Warriors down 4. The comeback is coming. Draymond Green, Curry for another 3. Warriors regain the lead by 1. Under 2 minutes to play, fourth quarter. Look at a pump by Kyrie for 3. Mavericks up 107-104. Then Moses Moody misses the layup. Jimmy Butler is there. Butler, 21 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. Warriors down 1. After a Warriors free throw, tied at 107. Najee Marshall gets the floater. Mavs up 2. Then Butler drives. Irving makes the layup, but an offensive foul is called. You see Irving stepped in. Just perfect execution defensively. Mavs hold on to win 111-107. Kyrie, 42 points in this one as we bring back David and Wendy. And David, I want to start with you. Describe Kyrie's performance last night, 42 points at a win for the Mavs.
Kyrie and Klay both went out there last night and reminded everybody, hey, we're champions too. Like, you got to think about the state of the Mavs over the last 2 weeks. The fans have basically been in revolt for the last week and a half. And everybody's been talking about Kyrie and Klay and that Mavs team being done because Luka's left and now AD is hurt. And they came out there and gave the fans something that they needed to see, which is that, hey, we still have superstars and champions on this team. Kyrie on a heater, 3 threes in about 30 seconds. Klay holding it down in the first half. And then was most importantly, after the game, Kyrie standing behind, signing a ton of autographs for everybody. This was a thing that picks up a whole organization, and those two guys really have to be commended for doing that.
Especially with the fan base that is so down right now because the Luka trade. Wendy, let's switch over now to the Warriors. They dropped to 500, 27-27 going into the All-Star break. So let's take this coming out of the All-Star break. Do you think they can do enough to overcome some of these flaws and contend in a really, really good Western Conference?
No, I do not. I do think Jimmy Butler is a great addition. I do think he's played and made a difference. I just think the West is too competitive at the top. I think they're small. One of the reasons why the Mavericks were able to win this game last night, they were able to get away with starting the tallest player that they started with 6'7". And, you know, you look at the top of the West right now, you look at how well Denver is playing. Nobody's talking about Denver. They've won 8 in a row. Jamal Murray is red hot. He's got 4 30-point games the last 2 weeks, had 55 last night. Jokic is playing great. The Thunder are 44-9. The Rockets have been really good. The Lakers have improved. I just don't think the Warriors can hop over all those teams. Right. I think if they make the playoffs, it's a great accomplishment.
Yeah, you mentioned Denver. We'll get into them in the next hour. They could be sneakily one of the best teams in the NBA that could catch a team like the Thunder, who we've been talking about all year. More from you guys coming up. Visiting the Jazz. Game 2 for Luka. What would he do for an encore after 14 points in his Lakers debut? First quarter, drives, finds Rui Hachimura. What a look from Luka. Hachimura hits the 3 in the corner. Have another look at Luka's pass. Eyes optional. LA trails 33-30 after the opening quarter. Then Doncic with the turnover in transition. Look at Jordan Clarkson with the fast break. Jazz up 4. Later in the quarter, Keontae George collides with Luka. Luka wants the charge, doesn't get it. George gets the bucket. Jazz lead by 8 at the half. Third quarter, 8 minutes remaining. Lakers down 8. They need a little bit of a run here to keep this one going. Another brilliant pass by Luka to Reeves. Lakers down 5. And everybody talks about Luka the scorer, but Luka the passer, distributor, just as good. Jazz up 10 now. Clarkson over Hachimura, 21 points, 9 boards, 7 assists. Utah up 12. In this game, the Lakers, they attempted a franchise record 53s, had nothing in the paint. The guy who had everything for the Jazz, Lauri Markkanen, 32 points, 5 rebounds, 3 steals. Luka, 16 points, 4 assists, and 5 turnovers. And the Jazz would go on to win 131-19 as we hear from Luka.
I think we can go very far. Obviously, today I felt a little bit rusty, 2 games in after my injury, turnovers, missed free throws, so I got to do way better.
Windy and David Dennis Jr. back with us, top of the hour, to talk a little bit of NBA. So, Windy, when you look at Luka now, second game, small body of work, what did you make of him in his second game with the Lakers?
Yeah, he was just off in this game, Matt. He doesn't really always know where to play in the offense. He's sometimes he's looking like he wants to be a ball mover a little bit more than just having the ball and cooking like he has done for his whole career. And he threw some bad passes. He had some loose turnovers. He got into foul trouble. He had 5 fouls in just 23 minutes, so he was out of sorts there. But the story of this game was the way the Lakers got dominated in the paint. I'm not as worried about Luka as I am about how the Lakers are going to defend on the interior. And this game, Jackson Hayes got hurt in the first quarter, had to leave, and they went to Alex Len, and he really struggled. That's going to be an issue for them going forward.
David.
Yeah, if I'm the Lakers, I'm going to take heart in the fact that this is the worst that this offense is going to look. Right now, they're basically playing pickup basketball. They haven't really integrated too many plays. Luka's still learning how to play with everybody, but he and LeBron are going to figure this thing out offensively. They've been in these situations before. Luka figured it out with Kyrie. LeBron figured it out with Kyrie and D-Wade. They had some awkwardness there, and they know how to get some of those young guys to learn how to move off the ball and really put it in Luka's hands. So I think offensively, the clunkiness that we saw, the turnovers, some of those bad passes, those are going to go away. The best thing the Lakers have right now is time and figuring out how fast it is that they get this offense clicking.
Yeah, fact of the matter is, this is Luka's second game since Christmas. Maybe the most shocking part of this outcome is that the Jazz have just been so bad this year and the Lakers couldn't go in there and get a win. So let's go big picture now, David, going into the All-Star break. Was this just a bad game or is this a bad sign?
This is absolutely a bad sign for the Lakers. It's not a good sign when you say a turning point in the game was Jackson Hayes going out in the second quarter, but that is about, that's the state of how bad they are down low, being dominated by those bigs. Markkanen feasted. Kessler was dominant, and they had Alex Len basically coming off of an airplane. Poor Alex Len comes out of nowhere on the team less than 24 hours and gets dunked on by Markkanen because he has to play defense. He was dominated, and this is going to be a problem for the Lakers for the rest of the season. What do you think is going to happen when Jokic and Chet Holmgren and Jaren Jackson Jr. and Şengün are down there in the paint? They are eating, and another problem with the Lakers, they don't move fast enough on the ball. They're not fast-paced enough to play bigs off the court. So they're going to have to contend with this problem, and that's really going to be the detriment for this team.
And look, when you talk about the Lakers, Windy, and how this thing is going to gel, you had brought it up last hour, and I want to come back to it again because you think Luka's kind of just stepping back a little bit in his second game. Does he need to be the focal point of this Lakers team? And if so, can LeBron be okay with stepping back?
Absolutely. I mean, you heard what LeBron said in the huddle before the first game a couple nights ago. Fit out, don't fit in. And I think it was nice for him to say. I don't think Luka's doing that yet. I think he is fitting in. I think he wants to share the possessions with Austin Reeves and LeBron. And that's not who Luka is. Luka is a heliocentric star. He is the guy who has the ball. Everything operates around him. I am not worried at all about LeBron fitting into that. LeBron will be able to play and have the ball when Luka is on the bench. He can play in the post. He can spot up in the corner. He can cut off the ball. Not worried about it at all. What I suspect is going to happen after the All-Star break when they get some practices in, you're going to see Luka play more like that. You're going to see Luka look like more the Luka that we saw in Dallas. The Lakers have a lot going for them. They have great size on the perimeter. That can help them defensively. They have great talent on the perimeter, but they don't have that interior. So they have to lean into getting Luka and his talent going so that they can take advantage of that.
And quickly, Windy, before we move on, heliocentric is?
The star at the center.
There we go.
I don't know if you remember from school, the planets operate around the star.
Yeah, well, listen, I didn't know we were doing astronomy today. And
that's an SAT word. That's an SAT word. I got to look that one up, too.
Hembo is back in the corner. True story. I said heliocentric. He goes, oh, dude, center of the universe. I'm sure it's easy when you got the Google machine back. Coming into this one, it really was the game of the night. About 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Knicks up 3. Karl Anthony Towns, we'll have more on him in a minute, but he was absolutely brilliant. Knicks up 6. But here comes Trae Young from deep. Hawks down just 3. Now, if you went to Madison Square Garden last night to watch offense, you were in luck. Knicks up 4 after the Brunson 3. 13 seconds left. Young to Georges Niang for the 3. But the play is going to continue. Watch this. Rare mistake off a made bucket. Inbounds. Dyson Daniels comes up with it and gets fouled. So the free throw, miss, rebound, Young fouled. What a crazy sequence there with just a 2-point game. Young makes both free throws, heads to overtime, 15 seconds left. Watch this step back by Brunson. That is such good basketball. Knicks up 1. 7 seconds left. Same score. Young's going to give it a run. Off the side of the backboard. One final chance for 3, and it doesn't fall. Knicks win a thriller 149 to 148. So if you wanted to see defense or defense in general from the Knicks, you might leave a lot to be desired, David. So having said that, the ceiling for this team is what?
The ceiling for this team is below the Cavs, below the Celtics by a wide margin. And the problem is defense is not the center of the Knicks universe right now. I'm not going to sit here and call a team that just gave 148 points to the Hawks and gave up a 6-point lead in 10 seconds and say that they're contending with the best teams, because they can get all the 40-point games from KAT that they want and the 40 and 30 points from teammates that they want. But the fact is, this team, when they've gone up against the best teams in the league, Boston, OKC, Cavs, they've been dominated. They've lost those five games against them by a combined total of 91 points. They just have not stepped up against those teams. So offensively, they can do well in the regular season, but defense is going to tighten up, and the other team's offense is going to be better. And the Knicks right now have not shown me enough that they can contend with those teams on both sides of the court.
Yeah, and Windy, it's clear that Karl Anthony Towns, he's a heliocentric star for the Knicks.
I would say it's not clear. I would say
really?
That's actually
Brunson's
not true,
up there.
sir.
Oh, so okay. So more astronomy puns. Go.
Look, I would just say that this was a cold Wednesday night in February in New York, and Karl Towns and the Knicks warmed it up. It is so enjoyable to watch this team play. Watching them play offense is really enjoyable. Karl Towns is having the exact season that the Knicks wanted him to have when they traded for him. That was a risk trade, and it is paying off. This guy just went into the All-Star break where he's going to be a starter with back-to-back 40-point games. Now, David is correct. When judged as one of the best teams in the league, when judged against the defending champs, I don't think the Knicks are on that level, but I think they got a lot going for them. I wouldn't pick them over the Cavs. I wouldn't pick them over the Celtics, but I'd pick them over everybody else in the East. And the one thing that they've got going for them is Mitchell Robinson, who was their best big man defender, is soon to return. I'm not sure that's going to change their trajectory. I love where the Knicks are for the next 2 or 3 years. I'm buying their stock. Enjoy this season. Enjoy Karl Towns.
All right, so in this binary star system, Windy, which team in the East do you trust the most?
No, binary, no, sir. No, we need a single star in L.A. The binary situation would be in Boston, where you'd see Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. That is a binary system, either or.
David?
I don't know any of this stuff. I just know that the Celtics are a supernova. Is that an astronomy term? I think that's what we're talking about here. The Celtics, I think, are the best team in the East. I do have some concerns about them, like when that 3-point shot is not falling. They do not look as dominant as they possibly can be. But they went into Cleveland a couple weeks ago and played it like a playoff game and wiped the floor with Cleveland. Again, I don't think the Knicks can contend with them. So right now, it's Boston with Cleveland at that home court advantage being the team that's giving the most trouble.
And look, if you look really big picture at the East, some might call the defending champ Celtics the Big Dipper.